In the last lecture, we replicated the person component. Let's now dive into outputting some dynamic content in React. Thus far, we always hard-coded some HTML elements, and I'm always saying HTML, you know it's JSX, just because it looks like HTML, I'm saying that, and some text in between. Now let's say we want to say I'm a person and I am X years old, but X should actually be a random number. Now we can simply do that. We can replace X with math random to get a random number between 0 and 1. Maybe multiply this with 30 and also use math floor to round it down. Now, if we do this and save that code, well, we see this output as a text, which makes sense. How would React know to execute this as JavaScript? After all, maybe we want to output it as a text. If we have some dynamic content in our JSX part, which we want to run as JavaScript code and not interpret as text, we have to wrap it in single curly braces. So let's wrap this in single curly braces, one in front of math floor and one after the closing parentheses. Now if we save this, we let this reload, we see I'm 0, 9, and 20 years old. And if we reload this again, we see different values because it's random. Now, this is super important because this now shows us that we can output dynamic content as part of our JSX content. We can't define a JavaScript class in there or anything like that. We can execute one-line expressions, short, simple expressions like simple calculations or function calls here. That is important, by the way. I could call a function here, and this function might then do more complex stuff. We'll actually see us calling functions once we add event handlers. Now that we're able to output dynamic content, why don't we take it to the next level and make our component more dynamic so that we can leave outputting some generic content like person and a random number and instead do something else. Pass some configuration from the app.js file. Maybe some HTML attributes we pass to person to configure what we want to output for each usage of the person component.